We decided we're leaving Canada. We're done. This is just not for us anymore. The more people I talk to, the more people are having the same thoughts.
It is final. It is final. Canada is becoming unbearable, and not just citizens leaving the country. They're also immigrants. And when I speak of immigrants, I'm speaking of businessmen who had come with great deals, bought lands, and did good businesses in Canada. And right now, they are preferring to go back to their homeland. So not just citizens leaving Canada, but also immigrants who had come to invest, and they made a lot of investment. Not just they didn't buy properties, they bought houses, they bought everything they could, but it's no longer livable. So Canada is becoming unbearable, and people are leaving every other day to go to other countries. So this video is bringing to you some of the challenges that they're facing and the strategies, and why are they leaving, and why is this, what led them to this point? This is the question. If you're a Canadian and you're watching this, kindly drop us a comment here. And if you have any solution for all this, and if you have any advice to anyone who is living or planning to live, and if you have any other solution left, kindly drop it here. But it's unbearable. People are living like crazy. They're leaving Canada. They're done. You can see the disappointment on people's faces. So they're leaving. And this is final. It's final. The majority of people are leaving, and immigrants who have left Canada has broken the record. A huge number of immigrants have left Canada. It's a broken record. It has never happened throughout the history. So this is what is happening right now. A huge number of immigrants are leaving Canada at a rapid speed, It's a rapid speed. So this video is a compilation of TikTok videos, I must mention, that I brought to you, of people expressing their disappointment and their solution, and what they are doing, and how are they living, and what's their disappointment, and all that. I had made another video related to this, but also I would include something of the plan Bs that people are considering. And yeah, if you have any advice to someone who is living in Canada or who is planning to live, if you have any advice left, don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comment section, kindly.
Everybody keeps saying it's going to get better. How is it going to get better? Our economy is so fucked that I work a full-time job. I make $21 an hour working 40 hours a week. I have no extra expenses, no bills out of my living. I have one credit card that's max because I've lived off of it. But other than that, I don't have cable. I haven't had cable in 10 years. We have cell phones, but, that's required to live on. But other than that, nothing extra. On paper, my bills are $2,701. My income is $2,710. Do the math. $9 a month before I pay for food, gas, car repairs, any entertainment. There's no money for that. And my car is dying. It's paid for, so I don't have car payments now that I'm going to replace. And I don't know how to do that on $9 a month. $9 to feed myself, $9 to buy a car, $9 for insurance. Yeah. So at the end of the day, this is me because I've worked 8.5 hours a day knowing that it's not enough, that it won't be enough. Fuck you, Ontario.
This is how depressing and disappointing it is. So a word to this woman, kindly. Your comments, kindly. Your comments.
A huge number of Canadian immigrants are now leaving the country. In 2017 and in 2019, there was a 31% surge of immigrants leaving Canada compared to historical averages. And factors like economic opportunities, racism, and challenges in finding suitable work may be contributing to this trend.
So this morning, my wife and I, we decided we're leaving Canada. We're done. This is just not for us anymore. The more people I talk to, the more people are having the same thoughts. They're looking to get out of here. We're going to apply to Argentina, Colombia, Panama.
It's also surprising hearing the leaders of Canada saying that Canada is doing better than before, while this is what we are hearing from the citizen of the country. They're living. So if you're living in Canada and you're doing better, kindly tell us, what are you doing that others have not done, and what should be done? Kindly let us know.
And that's why Canadians are doing better than they were before.
As we all know, it's quite the opposite situation that's going on back home in Canada. If you follow my page, you know that I'm a Canadian living in Florida and I received my E2 business visa. But what I'm finding out from people is that this isn't going to work for their situation. So I racked my brain and I thought of something that could work. Check this out. Again, what I'm about to suggest ain't going to be for everybody, just like my E2 business visa is not for everybody. I'm a sun chaser, so I'm naturally going to try and figure out what snowbirds do, and I'm going to do it at a young age. So what I would do is either save up for a trailer, park it in a spot in Canada, probably Georgian Bay with 30,000 islands, and then I'm going to buy another trailer, and I'm going to park it in Florida. Rent it out in Florida for 6 months of the year, and move back to Canada for the other 6.
Canada is a terrible country to live. Thousands of immigrants, expats, and Canadians are moving out of Canada because of the regulations, the taxes, and the restrictions that the government is imposing on its citizens.
I'm about to go home, so here we go. We are originally from Canada, and we immigrated. We have a non-immigrant visa, so we are allowed to work here. It's not a permanent visa, but it's renewable indefinitely. And so we did that through an E2 visa by investing over $100,000 into a business that we created here, which is our roofing company. And so we actually opened the business in 2020, and we saved up our money for a couple years prior to that, and we just kept injecting money into that business until the amount was sufficient enough to make us worthy of being allowed to be in the US. And so you can actually do this over a long period of time if you don't have access to any loans or whatnot. We did not have any loans. We self-funded ourselves here, and so it took a little bit longer than the average person, but if you have access to about $100,000 US, you can get this. It's called an investor's visa, and it's 100,000 USD, and so in Canadian it's about 130. And so we did that. We did it inside the US, and so right now we are authorized to work, but we are not allowed to leave the US, so keep that in mind. The way that we did it was with premium processing, so it took only 2 weeks to process us, and then plus give or take a month because of a request for evidence that they asked for. And other than that, I'm just trying to skim through the subject to give you guys as much info as possible. I do want to make more videos about this because it's a misconception that, you know, well, it is very difficult, but it's a misconception that it's impossible, and it's not. And we are just average people who decided to do something crazy and stick with it. And this plan has been a long time in the making. Our friends remember us talking about this over 3-4 years ago, and now we're here. And
hi, my name is Christina, and I left Canada just over 1.5 years ago because I cared more about my mental health than what it looked like to everybody else. My husband and I moved to Mexico with our daughter to create our dream life. Because you have a choice, you have options, and you don't have to sit in something that doesn't make you happy. And it may not be everyone's cup of tea, but it certainly is ours.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Yes, this is going to be the last food review in Canada. I know it's so sad, but don't worry. We're going to be showing you guys some of the amazing food and all the fun stuff we like to do in Hawaii.
So our life has just been bonkers lately, just because I am a very last minute person. I'm not a planner. So here we are, we're about 30 some days out from completely uprooting and leaving our country. So it's kind of, it's been a long time coming, and I've wanted to leave for a long time, but I think I never worked up the courage enough to do it. And honestly, there were so many deciding factors for us to completely uproot our life in Canada and just completely move countries. One of them was just, the school system is horrific. The tax system is horrific. The weather is horrific. And it just, even if it wasn't all these things, isn't the dream to go and retire and sit on a beach? But why do that when you're, 65, when you can, bring your kids to enjoy that kind of life, to explore, and live how you want to live? Why do you have to wait till you're 70 years old to do this? I want to enjoy it now.
What you've seen, this is what is happening. So this is a step-by-step guide of living in Canada. If you want to leave Canada, this is what you should follow. Make sure you review, you do further research, and you really assess where you're going before making that decision. Let me play the clip so that you get the information right.
Step 1, find a cool country that you want to move to. Step 2, look up the residency process and how you can get a visa to live there. Step 3, figure out what you're going to do for money. Do you want to work online and make American money? Or do you want to start a business there and be an entrepreneur? Or do you just want to work a regular job in that country? Step 4 is where many people fail. They just never end up buying the plane ticket. They just always have this place as a dream in hopes of going there one day when they retire. Step 4, buy a plane ticket and go. If something doesn't work out, if you don't find a job, if you get kicked out of the country, at least you had a fun time. You have an experience that you'll remember for the rest of your life.
My last thought is included in this video. So what did I say? Caribou Africa. So Caribou is welcome to Africa. So it's also part of the alternatives. So if Americans are having alternatives of living to Africa, so you might be a Canadian living to, let me say, America right now, but that should not be the limits that you set for yourself. Kindly review and look at other alternatives. So this is what this guy is saying, and he is considering West Africa because he has a business based there and he knows how to facilitate people to get there. But also, explore other alternatives. You want to move to Kenya, you want to move to all the countries you want to live to. You're free to explore the alternatives and live a better life. Don't wait until you retire. Don't work to death. Because you want to let me say, be in that comfortable space that is called Canada or wherever you are in the world. If it's not comfortable, move and go and explore other alternatives. I like young people who are living in countries where it doesn't work for them. If you don't see the future we are going in, if you don't see your future where you are as a person in a specific country, you are free to leave that place.
If you're an American, it might be time to start thinking about a plan B outside of the United States. And to illustrate this point, I want to tell you a story. Imagine you had a wealthy friend who invited you to come out to the fanciest nightclub in your city. When you get to the nightclub, it's better than you thought. He invites you to the VIP table. You feel like a complete boss. And as the night goes on, he's ordering the best champagne, the best bottle service, the best food. Everyone's coming to your table and is envious of your position. Yet as the night goes on, your wealthy friend suggests that maybe you guys will be splitting the bill. Your heart sinks and you realize, my goodness, I can't pay for this. But worse yet, as the night goes on and you enjoy your drinks, you find out that your wealthy friend has left the building and left you and your friends at the VIP table with the bill. This is the situation that you find yourself in as an American today. The national debt is racing towards $40 trillion and probably going well beyond that. Unfunded liabilities are approaching $100 trillion in America. Housing cost is projected to double over the next 10 to 15 years, and college costs may soon exceed $200,000 per student. On top of that, real wages have been stagnant for several decades now. And worst of all, the U.S. is at risk of losing its status as a reserve currency in the world, meaning that they're not just going to be able to print their way out of the next financial crisis. So who's going to pay for all of this? The international corporations that lobbied for a lot of these policies that put America in its financial predicament today are using sophisticated tax strategies and loopholes to make sure that they're not on the hook for the bill. They'll order champagne and caviar, but they're not going to be around when the check arrives, meaning that regular people like you without a plan B are going to be the ones expected to pay the bill. And the government knows that Americans are not going to be happy when that check comes to the table, and they're already taking steps to ensure that they can get the money that they need. They're greatly expanding the Internal Revenue Service. They're adding the concept of digital currencies so that they can track all of your transactions. And they're in the future going to be implementing wealth taxes. For those of you who've accumulated a little bit more money, they're going to chop that right down and take it to the Treasury. And this isn't even a conspiracy. Government officials are openly talking about this being their plan. And no matter how much you earn in America, it might not be enough to satisfy the government's appetite for your money. Maybe not today, maybe not 5 years from now, maybe not even 10 years from now. But just look at the numbers. This is coming. So instead of sticking your head in the sand and pretending these problems don't exist, do what the international corporations are already doing. Do what the wealthy are already doing and work on your plan B. It's generally easier to just stay where you're at, but is that really what you want to do? Sitting around doing nothing with no plan B, hoping that the government stays fair and just forever and that these financial problems just sort themselves out. But when these problems start to truly manifest themselves in America, it's not going to be so easy to pull your money out. You can look at countries like China where they put massive restrictions on capital leaving their country. I would expect the same thing is going to happen in America. So if you're looking for that plan B, now is the time to take action. I wouldn't just run off to Europe either, because Europe is pushing the same policies that America is pushing. I would be looking at places like Southeast Asia, the Middle East, particularly Dubai, or my personal favorite is West Africa, where I think that you can find the greatest cross-section of affordable living, business opportunities, and an amazing climate. And if you think West Africa is right for you, give us a call here at the Roars team. We help investors from start to finish, whether they're acquiring their first primary residence or whether they're looking to expand business operations in West Africa. But I want to know what you guys think. Would you consider a plan B? And if so, would you consider it in West Africa? Or do you think maybe I'm being too much of an alarmist about America's financial situation?
If this video provided you with valuable information and you'd love to see more of this, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share my video, and also leave your comments kindly. Don't forget to click that notification bell so that whenever I have a new video, you'll be the first one to be notified. Goodbye for now. Love you.